Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to install the new Goldstrike Panovista extended convex mirrors with sequential turn signals to a new style Honda Goldwing. And these will fit Goldwings year models 2018 through 2024 as of this video. The Goldstrike Convex mirror replaces the original Honda OEM mirrors with mirrors that gives you 5 square inches of additional surface area that eliminates those blind spots when riding your motorcycle. I want you to stay tuned to this video, and I'm going to walk you through how to get the new Goldstrike Panovista extended convex mirrors with sequential turn signals installed to a new style Honda Goldwing. So let's get started.
Now, let's take a closer look at the box. So you do not need any special wiring harnesses for the installation. So this is the box. Let's open up the contents and see exactly what we are getting. We're getting some mirrors. We're getting some plug adapters or plug connectors. And we're getting some directions. That's all that came in the box. So it came with directions. It gives you a picture diagram on how to get this installed. We got 2 connectors. Open up these mirrors. Remove vinyl before use on the rear. We have some electrical plugs that's going to wire straight into the Honda Goldwing. So it comes with the right and left convex mirror. And like the box stated, these things are wider and have 5 additional square inches of surface viewing area. So these things will be pretty easy to install. I'm going to walk you through how to get these installed. Basically, the way this is going to work is that they're going to tie into the Honda Goldwing existing electrical or the existing connectors that gives you the signals on the front of the mirrors. So you don't have to have any special plugs or any special connectors. These are going to tie right into the wiring on the existing turn signals for your mirrors. So basically how this is going to work, white represents negative, red represents the positive. Power is going to come in, also power is going to come out, and it's going to power the front of the mirror. And I'll show this once we get the mirror off the bike and get everything connected. But you do not need any special plugs. So stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to get this stuff all connected up. Before we do that, I want to verify that my sequential turn signals actually work. So I'm going to take my battery. I always keep a 12-volt battery. So on this connector, I'm gonna turn off my light. And so looking at the mirror, white being negative, red being positive. So we're gonna take the white and connect it here on the negative, and we're gonna see if the mirror is gonna work. As you can see, the sequential turn signal actually works. So let's test the other light. It's always good to do your test before you get everything connected up, just to make sure that everything works. Again, white is negative, red is positive, and the same on the other end. So we're gonna go white to the negative. Move this mirror so you can see it. And I'm going to just touch the positive and verify that the sequential turn signals actually work. Wow, that's going to be really nice on the Honda Goldwing. Look at that. So all we're doing is just tying in to the existing turn signals. And these are LEDs, so they're not drawing very little power. So let's get this all connected up. Get the Honda Goldwing ready to get this all connected up.
So the first step is removing the black cover that's located on the bottom of the mirror. For my Honda Goldwing, I have spotlights mounted underneath the bottom of my mirrors. So I need to remove my spotlights in order to access this black cover, and we need to get this black cover on the bottom of the mirror removed first. So located under the black cover, you have a screw. On your model, you may have a screw that you need to remove underneath the bottom. Once you remove the screw that's located underneath the bottom, then I can work on getting the black cover. Just gonna push that mirror out of the way, kind of pull down in a way. This here releases the black cover. Since I have the spotlights installed on my Honda Goldwing, I'm going to just let this cover hang out of the way. We need to take out a push pin. We got a push pin right in the corner, right here in the corner, that needs to come out. And we need to remove that black push pin to take off this black cover. But before we do that, we need to take off the mirror. So next, I'm going to push the mirror all the way in. Just push it all the way in from the top. And now I need to pull the mirror out from the bottom. So I'm gonna pull out from the bottom and then drop and then pull the mirror down. So pop out from the bottom. Okay, you felt it pop. Now I gotta bring the mirror down. Before pushing down on the mirror to release the upper tabs, push in on the bottom. So now that I've released the bottom of the mirror, I'm going to push downward, push down, and now I'm going to just unlatch it from the plastic parts that hold the mirror. So you got these little tabs. Those little tabs hook up inside of the plastic, and the bottom snaps on these connectors here on the bottom. So the first step, you want to pull out. You're going to hear it snap. That's going to free the bottom, and then once you free the bottom, you're going to push back in, almost putting the mirror back in its resting position, and then you can drop the mirror kind of down on those tabs. So be careful not to break those tabs on the top or the bottom. So hopefully this gives you a better look of how this actually looks off of the bike. So the next step is we got to take this plastic housing off of the mirror. But before we do that, we're going to take off these 2 Phillips screws. So I'm going to take off these 2 Phillips screws. There is one. There's 2. So basically we're trying to take this black cover off. We got 2 Phillips screws and a plastic push pin. I'm going to take my little tool, push in, being careful not to lose this pin. Now that I've taken a little flat screwdriver, now I can reach in and take out this pin. Being careful not to lose it. I can push it in to reset it. And we're going to set that little pin to the side. Now I can work on getting this front cover off of the mirror assembly. So I want to, just going to work from, just snap it out. Came right out. Only thing that held it were 1, 2 Phillips screws and a push pin for the corner. Snap right out. Just kind of tuck it down in this little hole so I don't lose my screw. I'm going to take my 8mm, take out those 2 bolts that hold the mirror assembly. Being very careful not to drop that down in the Honda hellhole. One more here on the top. And once I remove the mirror assembly, I can access the electrical connector. Alrighty. So there's the screw. Be very careful not to lose that. Alright. So now that I've taken out the 2 screws to remove the mirror assembly, next I need to disconnect the connector that we're going to power the mirrors with. We got a little tab, so you can even use your fingernail. You want to make sure you lift up on the tab. It's not a press down, but you want to lift up. So to release that connector, lift up on that tab and it'll come right out. So now that I have the mirror off the bike, we know that white is ground and it's going to connect to the green, and orange is positive and it's going to connect to the red. So basically the red on the mirror assembly is the same positive, and the white on the mirror assembly is the negative. So if I took this connector that's on the mirror assembly and plugged it directly into the connector that's on the bike, the lights on the front are not going to work. So basically we're going to take the power that's coming into this light on the front and we're going to piggyback on it. So we're going to take the provided
connector that came in the kit, and it's going to connect onto the plugs here on the mirror. I'm going to go through the same spot that the original wiring goes through. Let's remove one of these screws. We may can figure out a better way to run this wire. So I'm taking out that top screw and see if I can run this wire over this little, right through this little spot here where the wire would move freely. I'm going to put back the top screw. So I'm running the wire behind this screw. I removed this screw and ran this wire through this little channel. And I'm trying to see if this would be a good spot. Just running that wire across the top, making sure not to cover that hole where the screw goes. I'm going to go below that screw, the threads. Put that assembly back. Plastic tab back underneath. I'll make sure everything is lined up. Make sure everything goes back the way it came through this little gap. And hopefully this will allow me to put this cover back. There we go. Take my plastic tab. Put the plastic tab in first. Put this wire here right on the side in that little gap. And now everything snaps back perfectly before I even put the screw back through. Now I can put my screws back through. You just want to take your time when you're routing the wire. There's the wire that's coming out. Now I can take my plastic push pin, stick that back inside, reset it. So I'm going to hook in first, hooks in from the bottom, and then I'll snap on the bottom. So flip it upside down, go with my hook in first, making sure that this wire is out of the way. The top back in, press it back in. Now I want to snap those bottom snaps onto the mirror assembly. You heard it snap. That means that it's on there. We'll peel that off here in a moment. Now that mirror is on there. So now that I have the mirror assembled, next step is I want to take my connector So remember, green is negative, orange is positive. So the way it would normally work, it's going to fit like this. So green would be on the left side, positive would be on the right side. So I'm not plugging this all the way in. I just want to determine which side is negative and which side is positive. So green is going to be my negative. I'm just going to take a little black marker and put a line here for my negative. That's going to connect the green. So now, since I know that slot is going to be negative, I'm going to take the white. So white is on negative. Red is going to be on positive. Okay, so now we have the connector on the bike. Power is going to come from the bike. It's going to come through this connector. It's going to come out into the mirror assembly. So we're going to take, so now that I have the new connector on the mirror, we're going to take the old plug and we're going to connect it up like so. Green is going to be your negative. Red is going to be positive that connects to the orange. We're going to connect this side to the bike. So now let's connect this plug to the bike and verify that everything works. I'm going to take my connector, plug it into the bike. Just going to barely push it in. I'm not even going to push it in all the way. I want to verify that the turn signals work. I'm going to turn on the power. I'm going to hit my turn signal and it should come on. Perfect. Look how big that mirror is. Now I can turn off the bike. So I'm basically putting two boots into the, basically I put two connectors into one boot. I'm gonna turn on the bike just to make sure that my lights are working. Okay, my lights are working. Now I can put that rubber boot back down. I'm gonna take the screw, go back through the mirror assembly to reattach it to the Honda Goldwing. Be careful not to drop your bolt. Tighten the bolts back down. Next, I can reattach the plastic cover on the bottom. Go back in the slot, back to the bottom. And now you can put your bolt back through the bottom of this plastic cover. Peel the vinyl. And now I can turn on the bike just to verify that it's working. I've completed one side, and now we can do the same to the other side. But to remove this cover, take out the one bolt on the bottom. Next, I'm going to push the mirror forward.
Now I can pull this plastic cover free. First step is to take off the mirror. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to press the top all the way in. Press it all the way in, and then I'm going to pop out the bottom. You're going to hear the bottom snap. So I press the mirror all the way in at the top, and now I'm going to pull on the bottom of the mirror till I hear a snap. Okay, you hear that snap? Now you're going to close the mirror back down, bring it all the way back down, and now you should be able to just bring the mirror down. So if you look at the bottom of the mirror, you have the two bottom snaps, and then you have these little hooks. So the hooks, as you can see, the hooks go in and hook from these tabs here on the top. So very simple. Push all the way in, snap out, drop down. Very simple. So the next step is taking off this plastic piece. You got two Phillips screws, and then you have a push pin here on the inside. So I'm going to remove these two Phillips screws. And you can do this on the bike or off the bike. For starters, I'm just going to do it on the bike. Two screws. Next, I'm going to push the mirror forward. I need to take out that push pin. Take a little cloth or something to kind of fill that hole. You don't want to drop anything down that hole. Okay, so you're going to take your little pry tool, press in on the push pin, and now you should be able to pry the little push pin out. Be careful not to drop it. Reach in, grab your push pin, push back down to reset it. Next, this plastic housing is ready to come free. You could actually pull from this end. Snap it free. The only thing that's holding it is these two screws and that push pin tab. So in order to access the connector that powers the mirror lights, I need to take the mirror assembly off the bike. So I filled up the hole. I'm going to take I think this is an 8mm. Once I get the mirror assembly off the bike, I can unplug the connector. So I'm going to loosen that screw on the top first. Loosen the bottom. Be careful not to lose that screw. There's one. Take out this top bolt, and then I can unplug the connector to remove the mirror assembly. All right, take out that top bolt. I can pull the connector through, and now I can unplug the connector. Lift up on that tab to pull the connector free. So I'm going to lift up on that tab and pull. to pull it free. All you have to do is lift up on that tab, pull the connector out.
So the first step, I'm gonna take out this top screw. This mirror is sitting upright. I'm gonna take out this top screw. Set that to the side. And now we can kind of open that up. So we want to route this wire along the inside of this channel. And we want to come out of the same spot that the original wire is coming out of. So want to take the plastic housing. You want to put the wire through the plastic housing. Okay. Next, you're going to run the wire through the natural curvature of the existing wire. I want this wire to be able to move freely. Take out that top screw. Lift up on this tab. Okay. With the top screw out, run that over the top so it'll flow freely. Now I can put back the screw. Okay. I want to come in off the side with the screw to make it easier. So pull a little bit of slack. That's why you want that wire to move freely. I'm going to come in off of the side. So I'm kind of tucking it behind that little gap. Put back on the housing. Put the tab back through. Now you can snap the housing back together.
I'm pausing the video just for a moment, just to remind you to put back the 2 Phillips screws that goes through the plastic housing. This can be achieved when the mirror assembly is on the bike or off the bike.
We're going to start on the hooks first. Want to hook in from the top. Okay, now that it's hooked in, I'm going to press in on the mirror, press it in all the way. Okay, now I need to snap the bottom on these bottom snaps. Line everything up. Now it's snapped. Now that wire is coming out of the same place as the original wire. So next I can take my push pin, put it back in this corner, snap it back in, and now this is ready to be reinstalled back on the Honda Goldwing. I just need to plug back in the connector. So I'm going to do a test just to verify that everything is connected properly. I'm going to barely plug it in just to see if it's connected properly. I'm going to turn on my ignition switch to see if the sequential turn signals come on. Okay, this would be the right turn. And the sequential turn signals are working properly. I'm going to share the boot with the new connector. I'm going to come in behind it And you can even wrap this with some electrical tape or some plastic. I'm gonna feed this back down into the bike. And now I can reattach the mirror assembly. I'm gonna reattach the mirror assembly. Remove my filler. And now I can put back this plastic housing that goes on the bottom. Reattach the plastic cover on the bottom. And you can put back that bottom screw that holds this plastic cover. In my case, I'll put back the brackets for my spotlights.
And this will conclude my installation video on how to install the new Goldstrike Panovista extended convex mirrors for this new style Honda Goldwing. And these are fit Honda Goldwings year models 2018 through 2024 as of this video. I've always stated that these original mirrors on the Honda Goldwing are just too small and dangerous when you're riding down the road because it makes objects in the mirror hard to see. But the new Goldstrike convex mirror gives the rider an additional 5 square inches of viewable surface area, eliminating those hard to see blind spots when riding this motorcycle. So how difficult was it to install these new convex mirrors on the Honda Goldwing on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being the least and 10 being the greatest? In my personal opinion, I give it a 2. The installation was very simple. Once you install the mirror on one side, the opposite side goes a lot faster. So it's very simple and easy to get these upgraded mirrors installed on the new style Honda Goldwing. I will include a link in the description of this video of where you can pick up the Goldstrike Panovista extended convex mirrors with these sequential turn signals for your Honda Goldwing. I want everybody to chime in on this installation video. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you a little bit later out here in the Caliente garage.